Starting a new podcast can be very exciting. After a short time though, that feeling can turn into doubt and frustration if there's no growth. In this video, we will discuss how to promote your podcast for more listeners. I'll go over 15 tips every podcaster can use the moment you launch your first episode. This video is brought to you by RafflePress. It is the best WordPress giveaway plugin to grow your email list, website traffic, and social media followers with viral giveaways and contests. Everyone at RafflePress loves having you part of the community, so please hit subscribe, hit like, and check out our website at rafflepress.com. Number one is to release several episodes on launch day. If you're at the beginning of your podcast journey, it's a great idea to create at least 3 episodes before you launch. Chances are, if you don't have several episodes for new listeners to explore, they won't have enough time to become invested in your show, and as a result, they'll soon lose interest and forget about you. So create anywhere from 3 to 5 episodes so listeners can binge your podcast at the start. This will give them a taste of your content, style, and develop the urge to listen more. Number 2 is to publish your podcast at strategic times. Another tip for before you launch is to check out other podcasters and see when they publish their content. If you see a pattern in their posting times and frequency, there's likely a good reason behind it. Follow that pattern for your show and start collecting data you can analyze later. Then you can go back through your podcast analytics, see when people listen the most, and adapt your posting schedule to reach them. Most podcast hosting services offer built-in analytics so you can see listener trends. And if you host your podcast in WordPress, you can use a tool like Monster Insights, the best WordPress Google Analytics plugin, to see how users interact with your podcast. Number 3 is to submit to podcast aggregators. After launching your podcast, you'll want to expand your reach to as many listeners as possible. One of the best ways to do that is to submit your show to podcast directories and aggregators. The most popular podcast aggregator is Apple Podcasts. It's the default podcast app with iOS, but plenty of other aggregators cater to a broader range of users, such as Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, Podbay, and TuneIn. You can create an account on all these platforms and submit your podcast RSS feed. That way, all of your new episodes are published on their platforms automatically. Number 4 is to ask listeners to subscribe and share. One of the easiest ways to grow your podcast is to record an introduction and conclusion at the beginning and end. In these sections, you can prompt your listeners to subscribe and share the episode on social media. But it's essential to be authentic when you do so. Explain that as you grow, you can offer better content that your entire audience can enjoy. Number 5 is to run an online giveaway contest. Giveaways are an excellent way to build an audience and keep your existing followers engaged. With a successful giveaway contest, you can simultaneously promote your podcast across multiple platforms, boosting your audience, traffic, and followers. RafflePress is the best WordPress giveaway plugin on the market. With its powerful drag and drop giveaway builder, you can spin up giveaways in minutes. Check out rafflepress.com to learn more, or the link in the description below. Number 6 is to create a podcast landing page. Another effective way to promote a great podcast is to create a dedicated podcast landing page. This type of page is a standalone web page that encourages users to listen to your show or become loyal podcast subscribers. If you're unsure where to start, our friends at SeedProd have an excellent step-by-step tutorial for creating a podcast landing page. Number 7 is to embed podcast social mentions into your website. With over 3.8 billion internet users on social media, it's a critical channel for promoting your podcast. But there are also tons of people who visit your website that may not know about your social media presence. The easiest way to embed social media content on your website is with a social media feed plugin like Smashballoon. In fact, Smashballoon offers several plugins tailored to the most popular social media networks, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter feeds. Number 8 is to optimize your podcast website for search engines. A podcast website isn't just a great foundation for promoting your show, it's also an effective way to draw in people looking for something specific. By that we mean organic traffic, people who are looking for a solution to a problem that your podcast answers. But it's hard to attract that kind of targeted traffic if you don't optimize your website for search engines. Number 9 is to transcribe your podcast audio into blog posts. Evergreen content is the cornerstone of a successful marketing strategy. This translates as content that is relevant to people no matter how long ago you published it. So when thinking of how to promote your podcast, consider which past episodes fall into that evergreen category. For instance, general how-to guides or top 10 lists. Then you can look at turning that content into written posts published on your blog, and in doing so, reap the benefits of all that search engine traffic. Number 10 is to use exit pop-ups on your website. After turning your podcast into blog posts and optimizing great content, there's still a few things you can do to promote them. And one of these things is to capture your audience's attention when they're about to leave your website. The best way to do that is to use exit pop-ups. Creating exit pop-ups is super easy with a tool like Opt-in Monster. Its drag and drop campaign builder lets you design, create, and launch pop-up campaigns in a matter of minutes. Number 11 is to include your podcast in your email newsletter. Email marketing is another excellent way to keep your audience engaged with your podcast. In fact, it has the best return on investment out of all digital marketing channels. So if you haven't already got one, you should definitely start growing your email list. Then once you have a list of contacts, you can create an email newsletter promoting your new podcast episodes. Number 12 is to leverage word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing is a compelling podcast promotion tactic. It involves encouraging satisfied podcast listeners to recommend your show to their friends, family, and broader acquaintances. It might seem challenging to encourage recommendations online, but it's actually easier than you might think. For example, if you're already running a giveaway with RafflePress, you can use the refer a friend giveaway action to attract referrals. Number 13 is to cross promote on social media platforms. Let's not forget the simple act of cross promoting your podcast on other social media platforms. Since each platform has a different type of audience, exposing those users to your podcast is an excellent way to draw in a new crowd of listeners. For instance, if you tweet a new episode on Twitter, why not post it on Facebook too? You can even join relevant Facebook groups and suggest your podcast after contributing to the conversation. Number 14 is to convert your podcast audio into YouTube videos. Earlier in this post, we suggested submitting your podcast to aggregators like Apple Podcasts, but have you considered turning your podcast into videos and publishing them on YouTube? For this tip, you don't even need fancy video recording equipment. You can simply convert your podcast MP3 file into an MP4 file format and upload it to your YouTube channel. From there, you can create a branded image to display during the episode. And in the description, you include links to your website and other social platforms. And lastly, number 15 is to leverage your guest speakers audience. If your podcast follows an interview format, it's the ideal opportunity to tap into your guest audience. Anyone you invite to talk on your podcast will likely have a large following of their own, so why not use it to promote your show? You can do this by making it super easy for guests to share the episode they appear on. One way is to send them a quick email on the day it goes live with a collection of ready-made shareable media, such as images, quotes, and links. From there, they can broadcast the episode to their audience, encouraging those users to listen. As a result, you could net a whole bunch of like-minded podcast subscribers ready to binge future episodes. Now that you know about how to promote your podcast for more listeners, maybe you would like to check out this video on how to run an online giveaway for beginners using RafflePress. This will help guide you through how to create your first online giveaway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.